Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that you're able to release any feelings of tension, and notice that with your eyes closed, you're able to give so much more of your attention to the sound of my voice. So that as you breathe in and breathe out, you're feeling more resourceful on the inward breath, and you're releasing any stress, any tension, any worries on that outward breath, enabling you to, breath by breath, feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to use the power of your imagination to think of a time in your past that you felt strong, you felt confident, a time when you felt that you could handle problems with ease. And I want you to see that version of you back in the past, that strong, confident version of you. Perhaps you can see yourself in a challenging environment, out of your comfort zone. But you can tell from your facial expressions, from your posture, from the way you walked and the way you moved, this is someone that can handle problems. This is someone that can handle stressful situations. They're not fazed by it, but they can handle it. There are some people that seek out drama and problems, and there are some people that go out of their way to avoid conflict and problems. And neither are ideal. I want you to get a sense that the ideal balance is someone that doesn't want problems, but is willing to resolve or deal with them if they come up. And I want you to see that version of you, that strong, confident, powerful version of you, as someone with the resources that is able and willing to deal with problems as they arise. I want you to imagine that there is someone else standing next to that strong, confident version of you. And I want you to imagine a fictional character that is the archetype of someone strong and confident and powerful. Maybe it's a character from a movie. And maybe what happens in that movie are that there are challenges, adversity, problems and situations, and yet they're not fazed by them. They're not worried by them. Both you from the past and this fictional character wouldn't lose sleep over these problems. They would tap into that resourceful version of themselves that does one of two things. Either resolves the problem in whichever way they can, or if they can't, accepts that they can't and takes their focus and attention elsewhere to control what can be controlled and to accept what can't. And in doing so, frees up the resources for them to spend their time on those things that will make a difference to their lives. And I want you to imagine that you of the past and this strong fictional character are merging into one. Just imagine the two entities becoming one entity, and maybe see some of the physical resemblance of you from the past, but also this fictional character merging into a single person. And I want you to imagine that those qualities are also fusing together. There might be skills in the younger version of you that this fictional character doesn't have. And maybe they have qualities, characteristics, strategies or ways of thinking that the younger version of you also didn't have. And I want you to see them fused into a single person. A strong, capable, resourceful person. And I want you to imagine that you're about to step into this new person with all of these strong, resourceful characteristics and qualities. Step into that version of you so you become them, and I want you to adjust your body, your breathing, your facial expressions to mimic this new person that you've walked inside. Similar to when Patrick Swayze walked into a character as a ghost and then became them. Imagine that you're doing that with this strong, confident, capable person. That you're breathing the way that this person would breathe. That your inner dialogue is how this person would think. Your body language and muscle tension, notice that it's relaxed. You're not fazed, you're not bothered, because you know that your resources exceed any demands, no matter how much they might be challenging or difficult. You assess that you are capable of dealing with whatever life throws your way, or if you can't make a difference despite your best efforts, then you've got the resolve to move on quickly, paying it no more of your attention or time. I want you to think about a recent problem that has been bothering you. But I want you to see it through the eyes of the most confident, capable, resourceful version of you. And notice that the problem seems smaller, not quite as serious. Notice how much more manageable it feels. I want you to get a sense that nothing bothers you anymore, because either you'll solve it or you'll accept it. But what you won't do is dwell on it. Continue to breathe in and breathe out as I give you a series of suggestions designed to give you new ways of thinking and new strategies to enable you to deal with even more difficult problems in a way that does not affect your emotional state, that won't affect your sleep, that won't affect your attentional focus. Breathe in and breathe out and accept that. Doesn't it make sense to live in the present moment? You can't change the past even if you can learn from it. And the only way to change the future is to prepare in the present. So you accept to live in the present moment. You are fully present and focused on the here and now. You're able to let go of thoughts about the past or future and instead embrace the present moment with joy and enthusiasm, and feel that joy and enthusiasm expanding and growing inside you. I want you to imagine that your mind is like a garden. Occasionally there's weeds. The weeds are the problems. And if you don't deal with problems, those weeds get bigger and more of them. So you have this desire to cultivate a positive attitude towards life and to weed that garden when the problems are small and manageable. You look for the good in every situation, and you focus on your strengths and successes. You surround yourself with positive people who uplift and inspire you. And you're not afraid to either roll up your sleeves and weed that garden, or find a good gardener to do it for you. Because you don't have to deal with every single problem. Sometimes the best way to deal with the problem is to find someone that is really good at dealing with the problem that you have. Delegation is also handling your problems. Breathe in and breathe out and realize that, bizarrely, you can prioritize your worries. It's not a bad thing to worry. It means that you care. But there's a difference between prioritizing a worry and dwelling on a worry. So you prioritize your worries and take action to address the most pressing issues first. Why deal with the minor worries if there's a more important worry? Why deal with a small problem if a big problem needs dealing with? You feel strong, capable, and resourceful. So the bigger or more challenging the problem, the more resourceful and determined you are to resolve that problem. Knowing that at any point in time you can break down a larger problem into smaller manageable steps, giving you the focus and the ability to influence what you can control. A big problem may seem impossible, but a big problem is like a house made of thousands of bricks. And I want you to get a sense that a big problem is like a house of cards. And if you can influence just one of those cards on that bottom layer, all the others just fall down. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, slow and steady, tapping into this resourceful, capable feeling, knowing that you're not afraid to take action. Thinking is useful, but only if it leads to action. And you're not afraid to take decisive action to address your worries, because that's the best way to close a loop. Thinking about it can only do so much. Doing it is what will resolve it. And you don't let fear or anxiety hold you back, but instead take the steps necessary to solve those problems and improve your life. And sometimes the best way to deal with a problem is to preempt a problem. It's difficult to put the toothpaste back in the tube when it's already left it. But if you know that by saying yes in the moment could lead to many problems in the future, sometimes the best way to deal with the problem is to have the courage and confidence to have those strong boundaries and just say no. An investor or a business person thinks in terms of risk versus reward. So as you think about these decisions, what are the benefits versus the possible consequences? And if the possible consequences feel like they're more significant and heavier than the possible benefits, you have complete rights and freedoms to just say no. Because you can prioritize self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup, no matter how generous you are. So you take pride in taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Doing what's necessary to create powerful, positive rituals before you go to sleep. Meaning that you can put your head on the pillow, knowing that the day's loops are closed off. meaning you can get enough sleep, eat a healthy diet, get fresh air and regular exercise, and just engage in relaxation techniques, perhaps like deep breathing, meditation, or even hypnosis. Because when you care for yourself, you sleep better. And when you sleep better, you have more focus and attention. And with that focus and attention, you're even better able to solve more problems to enable you to have a garden free of weeds and a mind free of worries. Breathe in and breathe out and realize that the past is a source of wisdom. You can learn from your past experiences and use them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. So you can reverse engineer your worries. If there are things really bothering you now, ask yourself the question: if I had a time machine, what could I have done differently to mean that these worries aren't even here? And while you can't change the past, you can certainly learn from it. And those principles that you learn will enable you to make choices and decisions in the present that stop future worries from even happening because of what you've learned from the past. It doesn't make sense to dwell on mistakes or failures, but instead use them to gain insight and wisdom. And accept you've never been as wise as you are right now, because you've never had so much life experience as you have right now. You are wiser and more capable than ever before. And as you tap into this wonderful feeling of confidence, strength, and resourceful capability, you're not afraid to weed that garden. You're not afraid to tackle those challenging problems. But equally, you're not afraid to make decisions that could prevent future problems from happening. I want you to imagine one problem that's been on your mind, and just think of 2 or 3 ways that you could deal with that problem in this resourceful, positive way of thinking. And these 2 or 3 suggestions might be more than enough to give you inspiration to take them on and to tackle that problem. Or it might just get the ball rolling so that very soon an idea or strategy or decision or action will come to your mind as to what will solve this problem. And realize that when you solve one problem, it becomes easier to solve the next problem. When you close one loop, it becomes easier to close the next loop. And in doing so, doesn't it feel good to then spend time in that weed-free garden, that worry-free mind, meaning you can sleep as long as you want, waking up rejuvenated, focused, full of energy, with the motivation and desire to take on the world like a superhero. Breathing in and breathing out, I want you to return to the present with all of those resources, these new ways of thinking, ready and willing to move forward in a capable, unflappable way. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Get a sense that you're feeling more and more resourceful. As I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling motivated, determined, but also unfazed. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.